Jai Gurudev children, today we are going to start next chapter, Weathering the Storm in Arsama from Moments. Weathering the Storm in Arsama is a story about a boy named Prashant and his encounter with the super cyclone. Prashant goes to meet his friend who lives 18 kilometers away from his home. A terrible cyclone floods the area and Prashant and his friend's family have to stay at the rooftop for 2 days to save their lives. He manages to reach his village with great difficulty and is happy to see his family safe. He becomes the leader of his village and forms a team of volunteers which helps in getting food for the victims and cleaning the overcrowded shelter. Talking about characters, there are two main characters in the story, Prashant and Prashant's friend. Prashant is a 19-year-old boy who lives in a village named Kalikuda in the coastal area of Odisha. Prashant's friend lives in the coastal town of Odisha called Arsama, which is 18 kilometers from Kalikuda. Let me tell you a brief summary of the chapter. On 27th October 1999, Prashant goes to meet his friend. It was 7 years after his mother's death. His friend lives in the coastal town of Arsama. It is 18 kilometers from Prashant's village, Kalikuda. A cyclonic storm hits Arsama that evening and continues for 36 hours. It is accompanied by continuous and heavy rains. This results in flooding of the town. As a result, Prashant and his friend's family gather at the rooftop of the house to save their lives. They stay there for 2 days. They eat coconuts from the coconut trees that had fallen on the rooftop. The 350 km/h winds accompanying the cyclone destroyed everything. Water has spread everywhere. Houses were broken and trees had fallen. Dead animals and human bodies were floating everywhere. Prashant is worried about the well-being of his family. Hence, he decides to go to his village although the place is still flooded with water. He takes a long stick to help him locate the road and has to swim whether he loses the road. When he loses the road. On the way, he has to push away many dead bodies of humans and animals to make his way. With great difficulty, he covers a distance of 18 kilometers and reaches his village. Prashant's family members are happy and relieved to see him as they had given him up for dead. Prashant was also happy to see all his family members safe and sound in the Red Cross camp. 86 people died in Prashant's village in the cyclone, and the people who had survived the cyclone took refuge in the Red Cross shelter as all the houses have been destroyed by the cyclone. Prashant stays at the shelter as his house has been destroyed by the cyclone. The shelter is dirty and overcrowded. The victims in the shelter are wounded and hungry. Prashant takes on the responsibility of helping them by organizing a group of youths and elders and pressurized the grain merchant to give rice for the hungry people. He cleans the shelter and helps the victims to get food. The orphans in the shelter are handed over to childless widows so that they would get proper love and care. The men in the shelter procure food and materials for the shelter while the women work for the Food for Work program started by an NGO. After 6 months of the devastation of the cyclone, Prashant is feeling better. His wounded spirit has healed as he did not have time to think about his pain. The widows and orphans of his village seek his help whenever they are in trouble. Thus, Prashant's courage and affection for needy people teach us to stand bold and cool in hard times. Talking about the author, Harsh Mander is a social activist, author, and a former officer of the Indian Administrative Services. He has founded and led many campaigns in the interest of social causes such as legal justice for survivors of communal violence, Dalit rights, the right to information, rehabilitation of street children and homeless people. Among others, he serves as director in the Center for Equity Studies and is also special commissioner to the Supreme Court in the right to food case. He has taught at many prestigious Indian as well as international institutions. Some of his books include Ash in the Belly, India's Unfinished Battle Against Hunger, and Unheard Voices, Stories of Forgotten Lives. He regularly contributes articles to leading newspapers including The Hindu and Hindustan Times. Through his books and articles, Mander speaks of important social issues in India such as communalism, poverty, and caste discrimination, among others. The present story is set in the year 1999 in cyclone-affected Orissa. 7 years after his mother's death, the protagonist Prashant goes to visit his friend in the coastal town of Asama. That very evening, a menacing storm descends from the town. Although Prashant's friend's house withstands a fierce wind, it is flooded with rainwater and also gets damaged by trees that crash onto its roof and walls. The devastation continues for 36 hours and Prashant and his friend's family have to resort to taking refuge on the roof to escape the rising floodwater. Prashant's first glimpse of the situation outside conveys the horror caused by the super cyclone. Only a few broken cement houses are visible in a sheet of brown water. There are animal and human corpses floating everywhere. Fortunately, the trees that had crashed onto Prashant's friend's house were coconut trees. The tender coconuts saved the family from starvation during the next couple of days. Prashant and his friend's family spent the next 2 days on the roof, exposed to constant rain. Prashant is anxious about the safety of his own family. After 2 days, the rain finally stops and he is determined to go back home. With only a long sturdy stick for support, Prashant begins his 18-kilometer long journey home on foot, navigating the flooded roads. The floodwaters make the journey extremely difficult at several points. It is so deep that he has to swim to find the road. Fortunately, he is joined by 2 friends of his uncle's who are also returning to their village. During their journey, Prashant and his companions come across horrific and painful sights. They move past floating carcasses of men, women, children, and animals. These sights fill Prashant with despair about the fate of his family. Upon reaching his village, Kalikuda, Prashant sees that his house has been destroyed and scraps of its belongings have been caught in the branches of trees. Prashant goes to Red Cross shelter in the hope of finding his family. Once there, he finds his maternal grandmother who looks weak with starvation. He also meets his extended family, which includes his uncles, aunts, brother, and sister. His family is extremely happy to see Prashant as they had also feared him to be dead. Next morning, Prashant decides to take stock of the desperate situation. 4 days after the storm, there are 2,500 people at the shelter. A total of 86 people have died and all 96 houses have been destroyed. The remaining stock of tender coconuts is too little to sustain this number of survivors. Prashant, who is only 19 years old, takes on the role of a leader. He organizes a group of young people and elders to secure rice from a merchant. It is suggested such an attempt had been made earlier but was unsuccessful. However, with Prashant leading the charge, this time they return to the shelter with food for everyone. He then decides to organize youth volunteers to clean the shelter and tend to the wounds of the injured survivors. On the 5th day, a military helicopter drops some food parcels. After that, however, no help seems to be coming their way. The youth volunteers ask children to lie on the ground with empty utensils on their stomach. This visual message communicates their hunger to passing helicopters, which then returned regularly with parcels of food and basic necessities. Prashant sets up shelters made of polythene sheets for the orphaned children. Women look after these children while the men secure food and materials for the shelters. Soon, the grief that the children and women are facing becomes apparent to Prashant. He asks the women to participate in the Food for Work program started by an NGO. For the children, Prashant organizes sporting events. The government plans to set up institutions for the widows. But Prashant's group resists this move as they feel that the best rehabilitation of the orphans and widows can happen within their own community. They want to set up foster families consisting of childless widows and orphans where they can resettle their lives with love and care. 6 months after the devastating super cyclone, Prashant has coped with his grief by helping the people of his community. To the widows and orphan children of his village, he has come to symbolize the light of hope. Talking about the title of the chapter, the title can be interpreted on two levels. First, literally facing a cyclone storm, and second, facing emotional upheavals. In this story, we find both aspects as we read the remarkable story of Prashant, a survivor of the super cyclonic storm that struck coastal Odisha in 1999. He lost several family members and friends in the storm, but showed immense courage and resourcefulness to ensure that the survivors did not have to wait and depend on government help alone for survival, but took care of their own needs themselves. The story is set in Odisha against the backdrop of the aftermath of cyclonic storm that hit the coastal in 1999. The theme of the story highlights the destructive powers of nature and its repercussions on humans. It also showcases the courage and spirit of one young boy in bringing relief and comfort to the suffering villagers. The message of the story is that even a single person is capable of bringing about a great change with courage, determination, and selflessness. It also highlights the importance of community in helping to deal with the calamity. Now let us critically analyze the different aspects of the chapter. When a natural calamity like a storm takes place, people are put to a lot of suffering. Apart from the help of the government provides, the members of the community should also mobilize themselves to solve their problems. In this story, we see how a young boy, hardly 19 years old, takes the initiative and helps the members of his community to stand on their feet. His leadership qualities are praised. This lesson conveys a message that when a natural calamity strikes, the members of the community should help themselves. They should not be totally dependent upon the government to provide help. It also gives a message that the youth have a major role to play in organizing the community to help themselves. Youth should provide a leadership role to solve the problems of the common people. In this lesson, we see the leadership provided by Prashant during the superstorm in Odisha village. We should especially concentrate our efforts on women and children who form the most vulnerable section of society. Talking about the title, a superstorm happens in Asama in Odisha state in 1999. A boy called Prashant sees nearly 2,500 people in a pitiable condition in a storm shelter. He mobilized the people to help themselves and provided succor to them. He arranged accommodation and food for them. Even after the storm was over, for several months he was involved in rehabilitation work for the community. Since the article speaks about the efforts of the people to overcome the destruction caused by the storm, the title is appropriate.